So that was my friend Tom. Tom came through before with another gentleman, Tom, who's a town historian, and looked at it. And so he's going to come back later on because it's like, yeah, when you guys were here, we hadn't done much of anything as far as in comparison to now. So the guys are here working on. I hear somebody. One thing I've noticed. So yesterday, it gets here in the valley very chilly at night. At night, it was like 49 when I woke up this morning. So, but then it gets, it's 75 yesterday during the day. What I noticed yesterday is now that we've got all the insulation in, you got the brick and everything else, even though it got to be about 75, 76 outside, and it was warm, the place stayed nice and cool. It stayed really nice and cool. So all the insulation and the work that we've done definitely is going to help as far as the energy efficiency here. It sounds like they're upstairs hanging drywall. One of the things I'm going to do, there's so many things that I need to do. I've got to do a little bit of work here on the framing of the shed roof that's on here. And we have to decide what we're going to do. Are we going to keep this as a screened-in porch? And what kind of door will we put? Will we just do like a screen door over there? Or what will we do? Sounds like they're hanging drywall upstairs. I've got a truckload of materials. Things that after I get the water line hooked up, after I get the front and stuff, body putty filled in there and ready to be sanded, I'm going to go up here. We have a lot of the floorboards that are actually, there was a roof leak in the Cricket up there, and that's why the damage is on here because of years of it going down through and the freezing and thawing. The floor upstairs right above it too has exact same spot problem. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up underneath of this. We're going to put a piece of plywood up underneath it tight. We're going to then put a couple of 2x4s and bolt those in there to give us kind of a subflooring in between it. And then we can cut out these pieces. Now when we go to splice, and we've got to do the same thing here because this is where the furnace was. When we go to splice, unfortunately, this is not like it's all sheathed where we can go through and carry it through. So that way it's seamless. We're going to have to basically do straight slices on there because we just don't have enough of the wood that we can use to replace all of it. Last night my wife started painting these by hand. I'm going to wet down the brick because I'm going to put on another coat of mortar. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so we learned something here. Glad we tested this. So, lime putty. Lime putty without the marble chips and stuff does not sit. It crumbled all up and came off. So, good to know. We will not do that trick again. So, now I know. There is a difference. Okay. Yeah, that just didn't stick on there at all. All right, so live and learn. Okay. We'll take a putty knife and scrape that off, and at least now we know. Uh-oh. I see all the drywall up here is gone. Do we have enough? Ooh, good morning.
Good morning.
We got enough drywall? Okay?
It's okay.
Good. Oh, man. Good. The drywall. We got
Yeah,
enough.
complete.
One piece right there. Almost complete. All right. Okay. So that here.
Y esta.
All right. The drywall is almost finished. Uh-huh.
Es que hemos metido muchos pedazos.
It's perfected. It looks good to me. I
Eso
like
no me
it.
gusta a mí, dice.
What he said. No music this morning? Okay. All right, so they got that piece and that piece. That's it. That's all. And the piece in the corner.
Esa.
Oh man, I love it. I love it.
Esa.
Yeah.
Vamos a meter de-
Yeah, no problem. It's no dineros extra. No money for more drywall. Use man, if you gotta use mucho pieces. See, look.
Eso.
Yeah, mucho pieces like this. You got to? Yeah. Couple pieces. Yeah, there ain't no money on this job. Oh man, this looks so good. So this is where I'm talking about that we're gonna have to fix the floor here too. So we've definitely got that to do, and I've been thinking about this post and making it as strong as possible. And I figured this is what I'm gonna do. I've mortised out. See, check this out. I've mortised out the space for the post itself to go here. This is the part that was broken off from the original post, right? So we've got the floor joist that's coming across here. That's part of the step and the step tread. We've got this piece that's in here as well. So I think what I'm going to do, although I see a nail that's right there, is I'm going to go through, drill a 1-inch hole down the center of this. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take a chisel and I'll chisel out a 1x1 spacing in there. And then what I'll do is basically a nice mortise joint. I'll mortise out a piece that will be here out of hardwood that'll go into it. So we'll tap it into it. And it'll be basically a 2.5 by 2.5, which is the inside dimension of that. So that'll be centered in there. That'll be able to slide right onto it, and I'll be able to tie it in place. That's the idea. That's the theory. Now let's see if we can make that actually work. I need to do something similar to this over here as well, because that's got a little bit of a play into it. This one will be a little bit easier because I can kind of cut and notch in there and notch a piece in there as well for it, because I want the post to be sturdy when we come up through here. I will need to do one thing too, and I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do it. But we've got the railing that's to here, but we're going to need to have a railing that's going to go from the post here to that point, so that way people can, of course, get on here. But that's going to narrow down the space, of course, that's in here. So I'm going to have to figure out how we're going to do it. I may just do like a simple round bracket handrail from the post to in here, just to make sure. I mean, it's got to be the code. But that's the plan here this morning of what we're going to start doing. Another thing I'm going to start doing too, if we have time, I got rope, so we can start. We've got that front window, actually, the molding and stuff off of it. We'll unscrew the side pieces on it so we can fix the window weights, so we can stop putting a stick in it. And there's a couple of windows that I need to do. This one right here, I'm not sure about that one. And I also need to start going through the lumber in here, find out what pieces I have of the wood flooring, and get that situated so I can start fixing the flooring and find out what in there is actually worth saving and what's not. I think we have some of the thin boards that were like the closet walls that were in there that we probably don't need. So we got quite a bit of wood that we're using, but you know, anything that's valuable or that we can use, I need to probably just start getting it out of here so we can start spackling the walls. All right, that's what we got. We found out lime putty by itself ain't happening. But that's why you go ahead and throw shit on the wall and see what works. And so we're going to be mixing the lime putty with the sand like it's supposed to be, and using that to fill in the walls like we're supposed to. My guess is it's just like regular cement, because it needs something to adhere to break it down. And that straight lime is just not the case. So chalk it up to a learning experience. All right, time for me to get to work. I'm excited that there's only a couple pieces of drywall left to do. And that's it. That's it. The drywall is all hung. So they'll be mudding and taping and mudding and getting this thing finished. My buddy Jed will be here at any time to get working on the up on the mud pans and finishing off the tile. Excuse me, the cement board for the tile. And I've got a truckload of materials, and I got to start digging, and I got to get to work. It's a beautiful day here at the Red Brick House.